He never married, never built a home, never allowed love to soften his edge. Miyamoto Musashi, undefeated in over 60 duels, walked the earth alone, not because he had no one, but because he chose detachment over comfort, solitude over pleasure, stillness over applause. He didn't want to be liked. He wanted to be untouchable. This is the code no one talks about. The silent path that made him unstoppable. The samurai code of detachment. You want to be strong? Then you have to stop needing so much. The modern world tells you to open up, to seek support, to be vulnerable, to chase comfort and praise. But every time you do, you give away power. Miyamoto Musashi understood this. That's why he burned the bridges most men would die to protect. He chose detachment, not as a mood, but as a strategy, a way of life, a weapon sharper than any sword, the myth of balance. Modern life worships the idea of balance. They tell you, work hard but relax, be disciplined but flexible, be strong but soft. Chase your goals but don't miss out on life. Sounds nice, doesn't it? But here's the truth. Balance is a lie sold to men who fear commitment. It's a safety net for the unfocused. It's a sedative for the undisciplined. It gives you permission to dabble in greatness while staying married to comfort. Musashi didn't believe in balance. He believed in absorption. He didn't dip his toe into mastery, he drowned in it. He didn't try to fit in swordsmanship alongside a cozy life. He made the blade his life. Because he understood, you can't walk the path of fire with one foot in the water. When most men say, I want balance, what they're really saying is, I want greatness, but I'm not willing to suffer for it. I want power, but I still want to be liked. I want to focus, but I also want distraction on demand. That's not balance, that's divided attention. And divided attention is the death of excellence. Musashi rejected it entirely. He didn't live in a house, he didn't start a family, he didn't surround himself with people to keep him grounded. He wandered, he trained, he starved, he wrote, he meditated in caves. He slept under trees with one eye open and a wooden sword at his side. That wasn't balance, that was devotion. Musashi chose intensity over comfort, solitude over company, mastery over mediocrity. Because he wasn't trying to live a well-rounded life, he was trying to become a weapon, and weapons aren't balanced. They're sharpened in one direction, to pierce through anything in their path. He once wrote, "You must understand that there is more than one path to the top of the mountain." But he also knew, there is no path for those who stop halfway up to enjoy the view. So ask yourself, do you really want mastery? Do you really want to be untouchable, unreadable, unstoppable? Then let go of balance. It's not time to manage life. It's time to dominate it. There will be a season when you must go all in, where you burn the boats, where you walk into the storm and don't look back. That season is when you stop negotiating with comfort, when you silence the world's advice and listen to your inner war drum. That's the samurai's way. That's how Musashi lived, not in balance, but in complete alignment with his purpose. And that's why he couldn't be broken, why attachment makes you weak. Every warrior has a weakness, and if you want to destroy him, you don't need to outfight him. You just need to find what he clings to, what he can't let go of, what he's afraid to lose, what he needs to feel whole. That's the crack in his armor. And when pressure comes, that's where he breaks. Musashi understood this. That's why he let go of everything before the world had a chance to take it from him. He knew that attachment is vulnerability in disguise. If you crave praise, your enemies can control you with flattery. If you fear being alone, they can trap you in shallow company. If you need love to feel alive, they can rip your heart out and leave you bleeding on your knees. And most men, they'll sell their discipline for approval. their honor for comfort, their path for a pat on the back. Musashi never made that trade. He didn't want love, he didn't want comfort, he didn't want to be understood, he wanted freedom. And freedom demands one thing: let go. Let go of the identity you're attached to. Let go of the outcome you're obsessed with. Let go of the person who gives your life meaning. Because if your meaning depends on someone else, you're already defeated. Attachment is how they own you. It's how they bait you into the game. It's how they make you emotional. Because once you're emotional, you're no longer strategic. You react, you argue, you chase, you become predictable. And once you're predictable, you're easy to destroy. Musashi chose a different path. He didn't allow anyone or anything to become part of his identity. No relationships to control him. No possessions to tie him down. No labels to define him. He wrote, "Do not hold on to possessions you no longer need. Do not let yourself be guided by the feeling of lust or love. These aren't just minimalistic philosophies, they're survival strategies." Musashi was building a man that could not be shaken. A man who could walk into battle with death breathing on his neck and feel nothing but calm. Because he had nothing to lose. He had already cut every string the world could pull. Now ask yourself, what are you attached to? Who can manipulate you by threatening to leave? What truth are you afraid to say because you might get rejected? What fear are you hiding behind, calling it love or loyalty? Be honest, because whatever you're afraid to lose, is already controlling you. Detachment isn't apathy, it's clarity. It's knowing that you can care without being ruled, that you can feel without becoming fragile, that you can love but still walk away without hesitation if the path demands it. And that's why most people will never be strong. Because they confuse attachment with meaning. They believe the tighter they hold on, the more they matter. But Musashi knew, the tighter you hold on, the easier it is to be pulled apart. So he let go of everything. And in doing so, he became something most men only pretend to be: untouchable. The Dokkōdō, the path of aloneness. Just days before his death, Musashi wrote a document. 21 lines, no fluff, no poetry, no audience. It was called Dokkōdō, the path of aloneness. A final message to his disciple. A code for those who wanted to walk through fire and come out clean. Some of its rules: do not let yourself be guided by the feeling of lust or love. Resentment and complaint are appropriate neither for oneself nor others. Be indifferent to where you live. In all things have no preferences. Can you imagine living that way? No attachments, no reactions, no cravings. Just the path, pure and undisturbed. It wasn't a life of comfort, it was a life of focus. And that's what gave him power. Detachment isn't coldness, it's clarity. Don't get it twisted. Detachment doesn't mean you feel nothing. It means you don't let those feelings control your fate. It means you don't fall apart when people leave. You don't panic when things collapse. You don't chase what won't stay. You observe, you adjust, you move forward, without emotional baggage weighing you down. Musashi practiced this every day. He didn't dwell. He didn't fantasize. He didn't expect the world to cater to his emotions. He accepted what was, and then focused on what needed to be done. That's power. Solitude is the forge. Musashi spent years wandering alone, not to escape people, but to escape distraction. He wanted silence, so he could hear himself think. He wanted isolation, so he could feel every flaw rising from within. He wanted discomfort because he knew that's where the fire lives. While other men sought teachers, wives, comfort, glory, Musashi walked into caves, temples, forests. He trained by himself, fought with wooden swords, studied the movement of birds, the current of rivers, the flicker of candles. Why? Because the enemy outside doesn't matter. If the enemy within is still undefeated. Detachment sharpened him. Solitude refined him. Emotional control equals real power. One of the greatest battles Musashi ever fought was without a blade. It was against a samurai who insulted him publicly, called him a fraud, mocked his technique, challenged him to fight. Musashi said nothing. He didn't flinch. He simply walked away. And days later, when they met again, he defeated the man in 3 seconds. Why didn't he react earlier? Because reacting gives your enemy control. When you get emotional, you play their game. But when you stay calm, you stay dangerous. Musashi didn't waste energy on noise. He saved it for the kill, the cost of detachment. Here's the truth no one tells you. Detachment has a cost. You will lose people. You will walk alone. You will go nights without answers. You will feel invisible. But in that invisibility, you'll gain something rarer than love, praise, or comfort. You'll gain yourself. And once you have that, you become immune to betrayal, to rejection, to chaos. Because you no longer need anything outside of yourself to be whole. That's what Musashi figured out. And that's why no man could touch him, physically, mentally, or spiritually. How to apply the code. You don't need to become a sword-wielding monk, but if you want to walk the samurai path, start small. Apply the code. Build it brick by brick. 1. Detach from outcomes. Don't obsess over what people think. Focus on the process. 2. Detach from approval. Don't chase validation. Let your work speak. 3. Detach from comfort. Train when you don't feel like it. Discipline starts where convenience ends. 4. Detach from unnecessary emotion. Feel everything, react to nothing, save your energy for what actually matters. 5. Detach from identity. You are not your name, your job, your past. You are whatever you choose to become next. If you do this, you'll feel a kind of freedom most people will never know. A quiet confidence, a deadly calm, a fire no one sees, but everyone feels when you walk in the room. Musashi didn't choose detachment to look strong. He chose it to become unbreakable. In a world full of men chasing applause, he walked in silence. In a world addicted to comfort, he trained in solitude. In a world begging for love, he let go of everything that wasn't the path. Because he understood a brutal truth. You cannot master life until you master letting go. Want to follow his path? Then stop begging for what weakens you. Let go, detach, focus, walk alone. Not because you have to, but because you're building something no one else is strong enough to carry.